some housekeeping things, and I will try to make it clear to you how I think will be the most successful because an hour will go by really quick. So, you guys are all prepared for a little bit of homework, correct? Yeah, nobody's gonna cry when they get assigned something. All right, good. I also want you to come. I don't want to waste time every week, so every week you need to come with your writing utensils and your notebook and anything I send you to print out. So today I'd asked you to print out a note-taking sheet. Um, did everyone? I sent it a half an hour before class, so if you didn't get it, then you do need to go say, "Mom, check your email."
Is it
Um,
this?
yes, it looks
All
just
right.
like that. Awesome. So we're gonna use that in class today, and one of the way it normally works is when you come to class every week, we'll have an opportunity to share what you've written with each other, and writing is kind of tricky because it's personal. It's like you created something, and when you write, sometimes you feel like a little nervous to share it and nervous to have it critiqued. So I want you to not feel that way in this class. So I'm going to ask you all right now, and I'll ask you again different times, but I'm going to ask you all right now, is it okay for the next 6 weeks if I give you guys feedback on your writing? So give me like a thumbs up or a yes in the text box. Um, I'm very good at it. And the thing about editing is that when someone edits your paper, they're going to tell you, oh, you spelled that word wrong, or you were missing this comma, or that sentence didn't make no sense. Oh, by the way, does anybody have a good accent? I didn't hear any southern accents from you guys. That makes me sad. Anybody? Can anybody do a good one? My husband was born in Wyoming and raised in Mississippi, but he didn't have an accent either. Hold
I
on a
love
minute.
Wyoming.
Are some of you are you guys all transplants to North Carolina?
Up
Ooh,
native North Carolinian to
I
the
am.
nice, nice. Um, so what was I saying about editing your paper? Um, so someone's gonna tell you like the things that are mechanically wrong with it, saying it doesn't drive well because you spell these words wrong and this, that, and the other. But then someone's also gonna give you their ideas about um, why did you say that? Or I wish it said this, or I don't really, and that's like kind of their opinion. So when, with those kind of edits, you can say, I agree, or you can say, nope, I don't agree. And you don't have to make those changes. So editing is just a way of getting someone else's thoughts on your writing, right? Duh. You say duh. But don't let it make you feel like you've done anything wrong or um, my job in everything I do is to help people improve. So when they come take piano lessons, they'll play their song and I'll be like, that was wrong, that was wrong, that was wrong, that was wrong. And then we fix it. And so it's not about like you being a bad person. It's just about let's make it better. So um, we're going to do that a whole bunch. And I want you to be cool with it. The other thing I really want you to do, or ask you to do in this class, is to A, participate, and B, make sure that you have a good space to write on. If you're sitting at a desk, that's ideal. If you're lounging in your bed, it's probably not ideal. So make sure that you have a solid space where you can be taking notes and a good setup for yourself. And please do not spam my text box, okay? Um, all right, so we're going to move on. This is all I want to tell you about me and you. That you guys are over there and I'm over there. I live in Tacoma, Washington. So we're probably about as far apart as we can get. But through the magic of the internet, we are all in class together. So, has anyone ever been to Washington?
No.
I have.
You have? Did
Yeah.
you like it, Seth?
Yeah.
Kind of like North Carolina, a lot of trees,
A lot of
but
trees.
more coastal. Kind of.
We have a marine climate. I live on the Puget Sound, so it's an inlet of the Pacific Ocean.
Ooh.
What part of Washington do you live?
I live in Western Washington, so I live in a town called Tacoma, which is
Ah,
about 40 minutes south of Seattle. It's the second or third largest city in Washington.
mm.
And I was not born here, but because my dad was in the Air Force, I was born in Alamogordo, New Mexico. But my mom and dad grew up here and went to high school here, and then they moved right back, and I've been here probably, unless for college and my mission for my church, I was here my entire life. So that's
Ohio is where it's
it. Ohio's where it's at.
at. Yeah.
Woohoo, Ohio. All right. So I have one stepdaughter, and in August I will have been married 2 years, first time ever. So that was exciting to have that finally happen. But I have oh, I don't know. I'll tell you something else about me. I have two dogs, two cats, um, 8 fish, 3 birds, and 6 rats, and 2 or 3 mice. I can't remember.
You need to get hedgehogs.
Hedgies.
I used to have them.
Yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
good things about hedgies, but I think we kind of need to cool it. We just got the parakeets last month, so we probably ought to stop getting animals in our house.
The next
And
one you get has to be a hedgehog.
oh, and I have like 40 house plants.
Mm.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk too much and waste all of our time. Alex, what did you say?
I have 2 cactuses.
Nice. Nice. You guys, plants are where it's at. So, this is really good, actually, what we're doing here, which is like learning about each other and telling about things that um, are important in our life. And so it's making this conversation meaningful. And meaning means, it means something to you. You're sharing about yourself, you're learning about other people. And that's the kind of feeling that you want to start developing when you write. You want to feel like you're writing about something, you're talking about something that means something to you. So sometimes it's hard. I know that have all of you taken a Lemmy class before? Key of Liberty, Pyramid Project, Quest 1, Quest 2, Shakespeare Conquest.
Yeah, I've taken
Are
sim.
some of you going to take them next year?
We've all taken one.
At least one. Okay. So you all have had writing up assignments to write. And you're like, oh, I got to write this assignment for the teacher. And so you just write it. And you don't necessarily enjoy it. Or you don't. So learning to put your own thoughts and feelings and to write about stuff that's important to you will make everything you do more meaningful. Hello, Jeremy's cat. All right. So, can I have a volunteer who will read this quote? Can you see it? Is it too small?
I will.
All right. Hunter, go for it.
You can approach the act of writing with nervousness, excitement, hopefulness, or even despair. The sense that you can never completely put on the page what's in your mind and heart. You could come to the act with your fist clenched and your eyes narrowed. Come to it any way but lightly. Let me say it again. You must not come lightly to the blank page. Stephen King.
Okay. So, what is that? He says, you must not come lightly to the blank page. What do you guys think that? What is he talking about there, in your opinion? I don't know that there's a right answer.
I think he's saying you can't come to like a piece of paper without any emotion, because you got to put some sort of like emotion. It can't just be like a robot, like continuing in a monotone. You gotta like put in a part of yourself.
Ooh, I like that. That's really good.
Yeah, that's how I explained a paper one time. Like a paper is not like just putting words on a paper. It's kind of like showing a part of yourself. Like if you're funny, if you're or serious, or
They call that in writing, they call that your voice. So, interestingly enough, people can kind of say, "Ooh, I recognize that writing. That sounds like Alex," when they read something he wrote, because that's his voice coming through. Um, Jacob, what do you think he's talking about when he says you must not come lightly to the blank page?
Um, hmm. I think he's talking about just so not to come lightly on the blank page. I think he's just talking about you should. It's kind of difficult to.
What do you think? If you take something lightly, what does that mean? Do you think it's
If you
important?
take something lightly, I think for me, if I take something lightly, I don't remember or something, and it won't really come to as much. But if I take something harder and I take time to do it, then it'll stick with me. And yeah.
You said the key word, taking time.
Mm-hmm.
Ding, 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 you win. So, if you were reading my mind and you were saying what I was thinking about this, then you would be saying writing takes time.
Mhm.
Good writing takes time. JD, you coming back? James, can you turn on your camera, please? Good writing takes time, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But there's a process to writing, and if writing has been a struggle for you in the past, I would say to you that you probably weren't spending enough time on it. What do you think about that, Tegan? Writing takes time, huh?
Yeah, it does.
So you're gonna take Key of Liberty next year?
No, I have already taken it. I'm taking Pyramid next year.
Oh, Pyramid Project, nice. So Key of Liberty, you had plenty of papers to write, didn't you?
Yeah, it was kind of easy though. It
Yeah.
was really easy.
Do you think that the papers were your best work?
No, my best work was probably doing like doing say for the Constitution Bowl. I was really good at that.
Nice. So we want to help see your best work. So I'm going to tell you the trick. The tip is the amount of time you spend on it. So let's. But that's funny. Let's do something fun. I don't want it to take a lot of time, so you guys need to be typing in the chat box and answering as quick as you can. But I want to kind of test your knowledge of the parts of speech: verbs, nouns, adjectives, adverbs. Exclamation is not a part of speech, but so we're going to do a wacky web tale. We're also going to look at your word choice and your ability to be descriptive. And this is kind of like a Mad Lib. So there's all kinds of choices here. Can you guys see this wacky web tales page?
I can.
All right. Things that drive me bonkers. Good stuff. Plans for a great summer. What do you guys want to do? New kids in school.
Plans for the best summer.
Plans for a great summer. All right, here we
The
go.
mummy.
I think we'll do plans for a great summer. All right, I need an adjective. It's your best describing word, and everyone should try to answer. So type in the chat box or turn your microphone on.
Let's do hot.
Let's see. Hunter says oily. Oily. Actually, I'm gonna go with oily. And let's see. Is there another adjective in here? Oh, there it is. I'll put sinister at the end. All right. I need Jeremy. Can you turn on your microphone and give me your favorite food, plural? JD, you're fine. You take care of it.
Pizzas.
Pizzas. Nice. All right. I need from Jackson. What is your favorite movie?
The Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker. Got it. Wait, is that the one that just came out?
Yeah.
Mayor.
All right. I need from Alex. I need a celebrity. Just kind of.
Chris Evans.
All right, got it. Who does he play on the shows?
Captain America.
Okay, let's put that in there too. Captain America. Newark. Is it Newark, New Jersey, Hunter?
Ohio.
Newark, Ohio. All right. That's funny. James, can you give me a dessert? Like Cherry's Jubilee. Just kidding.
Lemon tarts.
Lemon tarts. All right. Let's see. Nice. I need, Jacob, I need a time.
Like, what do you mean? Like a year or just a time?
I think you can do anything you want.
Let's do 6:45
AM or PM?
a.m.
Eastern time or Pacific time?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, Eastern time. That'd be really early my time. Who's got an awesome friend with an awesome name? Oh, it said turtle for animal. Is there an animal in here? Yep. Does anybody type some friends' names in the chat box and I'll pick my favorite one.
JD.
Let's go with JD. Nice. JD. All right. I need in the chat box, please. I need a plural noun. For it's a person, place, or thing. And it needs to be more than one. So plural noun, please. What do we got for options? We already got turtle up there. McDonald's. Monks. That's a good one. Let's go with monks. I need another plural noun, so keep them coming. Pickles, good ones. All right, I need a verb that ends with ing. Kim Jong-un. A verb like, ooh, screaming. All right, I need another one. A verb is an action word. Good one, Hunter. Puking.
Let's do jumping.
Let's see, we'll go with puking, and then for the present tense verb, we'll say jump. And Jeremy, can you give me a number? Let's see. Oh, I gotta get nice 76. That's a good one. All right, you guys ready for this? Here we go. Plans for a great summer. Time is going to be, or this is going to be the most oily summer ever. I am going to sleep until 6:45 a.m. Eastern Time. Then I'm going to have pizzas for breakfast. After breakfast, JD and I will go to the beach and build sand monks all morning. If we get bored, we will go down to the park and go roller screaming. For lunch, we will have lemon tart sandwiches. Later in the summer, I might take a trip to Newark, Ohio to visit Captain America, aka Chris Evans. Or maybe I will go to camp and learn turtleback riding. I definitely want to watch The Rise of Skywalker 76 times. Last week, my parents were talking about having me clean the pickles out of the garage. They also want me to jump the lawn every week. I think they said something about puking in the garden. I hope they won't be too sinister when they find out I already have plans. That was a good one.
No kidding.
Sometimes they just work out. So that one was full of good description, nice, fun word choice. So those are all things that we need to think about when we're writing. All right. So get your papers out and your writing utensils out, and we're going to go through the things I want to share with you today, and you can take notes on the board, on your paper. So you're going to take notes about things that like you didn't know. You might take notes about something you want to try. You might take notes just writing down some information. If you don't if you don't want to take notes or it's too hard for you, this information is in this PowerPoint, so I will send it to you so that you have it. Okay? But one of your homework pieces this week is that you're going to teach somebody else what you learned today. So I suggest that you take good notes. All right? So Tegan, are you ready to take notes?
Yeah.
All right, Hunter, are you good? I can't see. I can see the top of your head. All right, perfect. So here we go. So I kind of revised the syllabus. So this week is called Lesson 1, What is an Essay? And the next week we're going to do something called the expository essay. And the week after that we're going to do the persuasive essay. Then we're going to do the narrative essay. Then we're going to do the descriptive essay. And the last week we'll be like wrapping it all up. Okay. So lesson 1, what is an essay? So there are steps to writing an essay, and they can be named different things. I happen to like these steps here. There's 5 of them, and on your paper you should have the first 3: invention, arrangement, and elocution. So let's go ahead and say those words out loud. Invention, arrangement, and elocution. The last 2, memory and delivery, are not quite as important for what we're doing here. But these were steps that were outlined by Aristotle. So I'm actually going to go ahead and show you a video where this guy explains a little bit more about these steps. And you can watch this again if you don't get if you miss something, but go ahead and take notes on what he has to say. Okay. Let me do this right. Okay. Here we go.
So you're feeling stuck on your essay. Well, these 5 tools are going to do more to streamline your writing than any other tip on the internet. And they're from the 4th century BC. Aristotle was an ancient Greek philosopher who, among other things, formulated the art of rhetoric, which is just a fancy old-fashioned term for presenting information to an audience in an effective and convincing way. He said that presenting information to an audience involves 5 and only 5 skills: coming up with what to say, deciding what order to say it in, choosing the best words to make it pop, remembering what to say, and physically saying it well in front of an audience. Which is maybe not what you're doing with this essay, but he was including speeches and whatever. And of course, because Aristotle was an ancient Greek philosopher, he had ancient-sounding names for them: invention, arrangement, elocution, memory, and delivery. I'll explain those later. Now, these 5 tools are not steps. They're not an internet article, 5 steps you could follow to do the thing, 1 way you could do the thing. They're more like toolboxes of writing, where for the rest of your life, you can put every writing technique, tip, or tool you ever learned. The amazing thing is, everything there is to know about writing can fit into one of these 5 boxes. So, you already kinda know them. I mean, thinking of what to say, what order to say it in, these are things you already do. But having names for the boxes is going to help you find the right tool, recognize clearly what stage you're in as you move from the beginning of writing your essay to the middle to the end, and see exactly what's hanging you up and where your problems are. Now, I'm going to be doing a video for each toolbox over the next few weeks and giving you a few tools to put in each one. But first, let's go over a few examples of how each toolbox comes into play during your basic essay. First of all, there's invention, the coming up with what to say. This one has kind of a weird name. When we hear invention, we think of cars and refrigerators and cell phones. But when you cover up this part, you get invent, and then if you pronounce it invent, it makes you think of inventory. Well, at the stage where you're researching and brainstorming, you're building an inventory of things to go in this essay. Deciding that these ideas go together, or that you'll leave these ideas out because they seem like they belong in a different essay. Those are all invention tools, and again, I'll be getting more specific in next week's video, so watch for that in the playlist. Next is arrangement. Now you have to decide what order all of those ideas go in. What do you have to explain first so the rest of the essay makes sense? What goes in the introduction or the conclusion? You know about outlines. Well, outlines are a tool you use for arrangement. Having good elocution means writing good sentences. Elocution just means speaking or expressing. So you can think relocation from your head into someone else's head. And you know these names might be hard to memorize, but having them is going to help you have clearer thoughts about what you're doing. And memory. If you're going to be presenting this essay out loud, you've got to have good mental tricks for remembering it, exercising your memory. And even if you're just writing it, it's important to remember where you saw that one piece of research that you might want to stick in at the last minute. And last of all, delivery. Again, pretty specific to a spoken presentation, but it also includes things like body language, eye contact, and projecting your voice. Instead of just reading your essay with your other hand in your pocket like a wallflower. In 1891, Congress passed the bill. So like I said, each toolbox is getting its own video on the rest of this playlist, so be sure to check that out and leave me a comment. What is your favorite essay writing tool? Be sure and subscribe for more ancient tools coming all the time. I mean, it's not our channel's main thing, but they come out pretty often. And I will see you in the invention video.
Okay, you will actually see them in the invention video because that's your homework this week. All right, so the first thing that he talked about was invention, which is also called discovery. It's when you come up with your ideas. And there's two things that you should do in your invention. One is to do the reading or the research. So you have a question to answer and you need to figure out what you're going to say. And then the second part is called thinking on paper. So those would be two tools. So I will give you more information and more ideas about how to think on paper. But if you've ever done a brainstorm or if you've ever filled out an organizer to like organize your thoughts, that's what they're talking about. Can somebody tell me what they wrote down from under invention from the video? Seth, did you get anything written down for invention?
Yeah, I basically wrote invention, come up with stuff, arrangement is an outline, and elocution is speaking.
Yeah, perfect. So, when you guys think of invention, we're thinking about the work you're doing to get your thoughts out of your head. Okay? Then arrangement is when you're placing the ideas in a logical order. It's how you organize your ideas. So what does that word logical mean? James, what does logical mean if you're going to put them in a logical order?
I know what the word logical means, but I don't know what logical order would mean.
Well, what do you think the word logical means?
Kind of like rational and smart kind of mashed together.
There you go. So it can be an order that's smart. How about an order that makes sense? Does that sound to you what logical might mean? You say, if you were writing a story and you put the middle first and the ending next and the beginning last, and then you put the middle again, and someone's reading it, they're going to say, that doesn't make any sense, right? Because it's not logical. So when you're writing, you have to consider your order, because the person who's reading it, if it doesn't make sense, then they're not gonna want to read it, right? You have to have a logical order. So, and under arrangement is where you outline. Raise your hand if you've ever done an outline before for a writing assignment. All right. So if you've never done an outline before, then this is the last day of that in your entire life. You always need to outline, said Aristotle. All right, and then the last one was elocution. So this is where you express your ideas. And Seth said it's in speaking, but it's also, we're talking about writing. So this is when you do the actual writing of the paper, right? And then this is where you do the editing of your paper. And then this is where you do the rewrite of your paper. So raise your hand if you've ever edited your work, your papers. So everyone needs to have an editor. So if you've taken Quest before, that's a requirement of the class that you have an editor. If you have your mom as your editor, that's easy. However, has anyone ever had anybody who isn't their mom? Have they gone out and found somebody that they think is a really good writer? Alex, who did you have?
So
Alex, you got a slow mic all of a sudden.
so I was
JD had his sister. Nice. Alex, why don't you type it in the chat box until your computer catches back up with you? Perfect. There's lots and lots of people that, if you thought about it, would be willing to edit for you. And then, so that's important. So I do want you guys to be thinking about who's going to be your editor for the next 6 weeks. And if you want it to be your mom, that's fine. But if you wanted to try getting feedback from somebody new, then think about that too. All right. So, these are the toolboxes you need to open and use when you're writing. Okay. So we're going to move on to the next section on your note paper, and it's called writing styles. And there's, let me go back real quick, because I do want to remind you here. Let me exit this. In your notes, if you would write down, find an editor. Okay. So if you've never had somebody that you say you have an arrangement with them as your editor, then you should do that. If you want to try somebody new, you should do that. If you have a good arrangement with your editor, just remind them that, hey, I'm going to be writing some stuff. Let's get this going. Make sure they're available. All right. So there are 4 writing styles. So this is the first, I think in your notes. Okay. So writing styles. So there's something called the expository essay, the persuasive essay, the narrative essay, and the descriptive essay. So I'm going to go over all 4 of these, and you can just write a couple things down as we go through. So the first thing, an expository essay, has 2 parts. One of them is a persuasive essay, which we call a persuasive argument essay. So a lot of you have probably done these, where you are trying to prove a point to someone. So in order to do it, you have to have what's called a thesis statement, or a statement of opinion. You actually have to believe and have an opinion about something. Can anybody think of a persuasive essay that they wrote for one of their classes where they were trying to prove a point?
Yeah, I had several.
What's one that comes to mind, Alex?
One of them, I basically had it like a fight against hunger, and I thought it was really powerful because, like, I really, like, me and my mom really, like, combed through it and strand by strand and just pulled out the most important parts and came up with a really strong thesis. And oh my goodness, it felt great.
Awesome. So what happens when you have a good persuasive essay is that you should leave an impact. And you can tell when Alex was talking about that paper that he wrote that it left an impact on him, right? And you want to convince people with facts and reason. So this is super important to know what you're doing. If you're writing a paper, you should know if it's a persuasive essay, because there's more than one kind. Martin Luther King is an example of someone who used persuasive essay a lot. His speeches were basically persuasive essays. You can find persuasive essays in magazines, in newspapers, and in essays, and much more. I should just put speeches too. The other part of an expository essay is something called the informative essay, and its job is to educate. So it's just the facts, ma'am. So there's actually no opinion, and the thesis statement is optional because the informative essay is just there to be a how-to. So how to make a forest-style bonsai tree, how to clean up your room, how to babysit. So they're not boring, but they are different. So that's important to remember. If you're just writing up something like a course description, I have to do that all the time. I did that for you guys. In fact, the syllabus that you get that I gave you, this is an informative essay, and the description of the class that I wrote down, that's a little informative essay paragraph. Okay, so the next type of essay is really interesting. I don't know if any of you have ever done one. It's called a narrative essay. So that word narrative is meaning that it has a narrator, somebody who's talking to you. So if you are going to write a narrative essay, you have to have three things. You have to have dialogue, people talking, you have to have a character, and you have to have a theme. Okay? So the word for a theme in a narrative essay is a motif. So what is the theme of this art picture here? What is she focusing on in this art that this lady's doing? What do you see? Okay, but Seth, you are right. But there's something really obvious going on here, right?
There's
Tegan,
a
what do you
mirror.
see in the?
Yeah, there's a
Okay,
mirror.
but I think her theme is
Polka dots.
polka dots. Polka
Black
dots,
and
right?
yellow.
Polka dots are all over this. So she's using them in different ways. She's got the mirror, she's got color, she's using depth. But the theme of the whole thing is polka dots, right? So your theme of your papers could be like truth, or moving the cause of liberty, right? Or the spiritual creation. If you're in Pyramid Project, you're going to learn about the spiritual creation. Okay? And you can have a character who talks about that theme in your essay. And you have to have a purpose for writing it, something you're trying to prove, but you really want to be able to teach the readers a lesson. So a narrative essay uses a character and a theme to help teach a lesson. So if that's interesting to you, I will teach you how to do this. If it's not interesting to you, then you probably should never even try to write a narrative essay, and that's okay. All right, any questions or thoughts on the narrative essay?
Yes, I have one.
Yes.
Does narrative essay is like books? Like
Yes. Narrative writing is fiction writing, often, but you can shorten it up into and make it into. You can use the tools you would use to write a fiction story. You can use them to write a short essay. So learning how to write dialogue and learning how to have a character, how your character speaks. So my husband was talking about last night, and he said that he once did an essay, a narrative essay, where he was writing a letter to City Hall to complain about pollution, and so his character was talking in the essay about pollution, and he was talking to the mayor. Okay. All right. So the last one I wanted to talk to you about is a descriptive essay. Okay? And you can have a persuasive essay that's also descriptive. But a descriptive essay lets you be creative. Okay? It usually deals with an event, a person, a location, an item, or an emotion. Right? So if you're writing about your feelings about Christmas, that should be a descriptive essay. Or if you're writing about the best vacation you ever had, or if you're writing about why I love my mother. Okay? Those are all single things, and there's a thesis statement. You have to prove a point. You're saying, my mother is the greatest mother of all the mothers that ever mothered in the world. And then you have to prove it in your essay. But you do so by creating a picture in the reader's mind. Okay? And the picture that you do, just like we did with our wacky web tale, you use the best words. Okay? So if it says pick a food, and you'd be like eggs. Or if they pick a food and you say lemon tarts. One picture is a little bit better than the other. Okay? So this is a really fun one, especially if you have lots of creativity that you want to get out of your brain. You say, I'm going to be really descriptive with this essay. All right. So these should be easy to remember. There's expository, which is persuasive and informative. There's narrative, and there's descriptive. So what I want you to do on your note page is I want you to either put a star or an arrow or a circle around one of the essay types that you think you want to try, that you think, that's me. I want to write in that style. I love that idea. I want to write a descriptive essay. I want to be the best at narrative essays. I think I've never done one. Those sound great. So circle one of them that you definitely want to try. If you're like, I am so good at persuading people, I'm going to knock the socks off in a persuasive essay. Okay. Jeremy, which one did you pick? Expository, narrative, or descriptive?
Expository.
Did you persuasive or informative?
Probably
Do you want to give just the facts, or do you want to persuade people to believe you?
both.
So pick one that you think you want to do, because they're different.
Informative.
Informative. Okay. So you're going to share some information in a good way. All right. So let's see. So we got styles, and now we got structures. So this is the last thing I think we're going to do today. I do have an activity that goes with it, and I know I've been talking a lot. So when you figure out that you're going to write a persuasive essay, then you have to figure out how you're going to structure that. So it's like you're building. So these are some of the options. There's a thing called compare and contrast. There's something called cause and effect. There you can write about the problem and a solution. You can write in sequence or in order that things happen, or you can just describe it. Okay. So I want you to put a star next to one of these that interests you. You're like, I've never done, I wonder what a cause and effect is all about. Or I'd love to deal with a problem, write about a problem and a solution. I'm good at that. Okay, so pick one that you think sounds interesting. And then we're going to do an activity here. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 of you. All right. Okay. So what type of structure would work? So these are all writing prompts from Shakespeare's Conquest, Pyramid Project, Quest, Key of Liberty, and I want you to tell me which structure you think would be the best to answer these questions. Okay? Seth, would you read the first one, the writing prompt?
When you do something wrong, what kind of emotions do you experience? Do these emotions affect your actions? If so, how?
Okay. So, JD, I need to know from you, what do you think is the text structure that would go with that prompt? If you're doing something wrong, what kind of emotions do you experience? So is that compare and contrast? Is that cause and effect? Is that a problem and a solution?
So I guess it would probably be problem and a solution because you're trying to find out how to fix.
Oh shoot, I don't want that. I wanted to just draw a line. It won't let me just draw a line. Oh, here we go. So you think problem and solution. When you do something wrong, how does it affect you? So that could be one of them for sure. Is there any others that come to mind, JD? I'm gonna let you tell me what you think.
Cause and effect, like you could see like what that problem made.
Yep. I can't draw any lines. That's rude. Anyway. Oh well, you get it. So cause and effect, or here I'll put a number 1 by it. And you said problem and solution. Perfect. Okay. Jackson, would you read number 2, please?
What did you learn about yourself?
Okay, keep your microphone on, please, Jackson. So which of the structures do you think would go with that prompt? What did you learn about yourself?
Description?
Description,
Description or
definitely.
compare and contrast?
Yeah, you read in my mind because you're saying what did you learn about yourself, so you have to be like, here's where I was before, here's where I am now. Perfect. Number 3, Jacob, would you read number 3, please?
Okay. Is it better to have a man of faith in office with a minimal? Yeah. Oh, I totally forgot. Okay, I'll just restart. Is it better to have a man of faith in office with a minimal education or a man of knowledge with minimal faith and a questionable character?
All right. So, what do you think, Jacob? Which one of those structures would go with that one?
Compare and contrast.
I would agree that it's probably most likely compare and contrast. All right. I'll read the last one. Now that you know and understand our Constitution, what do you plan to do in your life to see that it is not trampled down by power-seeking men? So, James, what would you say that one is?
I would either
So
say
basically, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
cause and effect or problem and solution.
Okay. So how are you going to solve the problem of the Constitution being not taken care of, or how are you going to what is going to be the effect of taking this class? And I would say that also sequence. What is the order? What are the steps you're going to take to defend the Constitution? Okay. All right. So you guys can kind of see there's a lot of choices you have to make when it goes into writing an essay. Most people think when they write an essay that they're just going to be doing what's called the 5-paragraph essay. An introduction, body paragraphs, and a conclusion. Have you guys heard of the 5-paragraph essay before?
Yeah, not really, but I know I have done so.
Yeah. And it makes writing, it's not really a great way to write. So what you really want to think about is an essay has an introduction and it has something in the middle, and it has a conclusion. That's all you have to think about. So C.S. Lewis says you can make anything by writing. But the most important thing is you must see each new essay as an opportunity to explore the best way to write about a subject. So some examples of how you could be an authentic writer is you could do something like a blog entry. You could do research and turn in a journal entry, a newspaper article, a biography. You could do a pop-up book. You could create an infographic. It's one of those pictures of, and it has information that goes along with the pictures. You could write a debate. You can write up your half of the debate. You can do something called parody or satire, which is basically making fun of something. Yeah, Seth, we are at 11, and I'm going to end really quickly here. You could write a letter to the editor, or much more. You don't have to just write a boring essay. You can write in a way that you think is interesting. So can you guys pick one of these examples that you think, man, I would totally try that. I would love to turn in a newspaper article, or I think it would be super fun to write a snarky story where I'm making fun of something. I'd love to just use my drawing skills and create a picture of draw an infographic with information and fill it in. I think I could make a cool pop-up book. That might be a little bit work. Yep. Okay. So, Hunter, which one did you write down for an authentic choice?
I think I was going to do the infographics.
Nice. So I do want you to think about a bit about your choice this week and how you might do it. And we're going to apply all of your choices to your writing assignments. Okay. So you don't have a writing assignment this week, but I want to reiterate to you that writing takes time. So in this class, next week I'm gonna give you a writing assignment, and you'll have 1 week to do it. So day 1, you're gonna need to do that research, reading and thinking and taking notes. Next day, you're gonna brainstorm how you're gonna answer the question. And then day 3, you would organize your thoughts. And then day 4, you would start on that rough draft. Maybe sooner, maybe not, but I wouldn't wait till later, because day 5, 6, and 7, unless you took one day off, so maybe 5 and 6, you have to edit it and rewrite it, and maybe you have to edit it again, and somehow you got to come up with your final draft. Okay? So, JD, is that more time you think than you've taken on writing assignments than before? Or does that sound about right to you?
Are you talking to me?
Have you do you think you've taken this much time with one writing assignment before? Like,
Yeah.
worked on it every day? Yeah, and I bet you those were successful ones. Okay, so here is your homework. Get ready for it, guys. You can do it. I want you to do 3 things. Skip number 1 right now. Number 2 is I want you to teach someone. So I'm going to send you this PowerPoint, and you have your notes. And so I want you to use this presentation and your notes to teach someone else what you learned today. Okay? So it doesn't have to be everything, but the things that stuck out to you, focus on the things that made sense. And if you need to use the PowerPoint, you can do that. But by teaching it to someone else, you will learn it better. Okay? And then I have 3 videos here that talk about the invention, arrangement, and elocution. So they're not very long, but I'd like you to watch them. And the videos are just for information. Okay? And then the last thing is I received papers. Let's see. I got a paper from JD and James and Jeremy and Seth. And then I don't think I got a paper from you, Hunter. Something that you've written before. And Jacob, I don't think I got a paper from you. And then Alex and Tegan. Do you know if you sent me something? I don't think so. So I need to have you guys send me something that you. Okay, I will give it to you.
I don't have your email.
I asked your mom for it. Okay, I'll give it to you. I need you today. I need you guys to send me something that you've written before for one of your classes. Okay, I don't care what it is, and I'm going to edit it for you, and I'm going to send it back to you, and I want you to make a new draft of it. Okay, so you're going to look at the changes that I suggest, and you're going to fix up your papers a little bit. Okay, is that okay with everyone if I edit your papers for you?
Yeah, I'll just make a copy of it.
So make sure if I didn't get something from you that I get it from you today. So I need something from Alex, I need something from Tegan, I need something from Jacob, and I need something from Hunter. Okay, so you guys need, so here's the team, you guys and me. For the next 6 weeks, we're going to work on stuff together. This is probably the most talking that I'm going to do. From now on, it's going to be a lot of you guys sharing. So we got 5 weeks, plus there's one more for wrapping it up. And if you have any questions, here's my email, and here's my phone number. Let me make it big. And you're welcome to oh, by the way, when you turn stuff into me, Google Docs. Let's do Google Docs, okay? All right. Are there any questions? Any last wishes? Any dying requests? Any deep, dark secrets you want to share with me?
Okay, my birthday. Oh, I think I've told you this, but my birthday is next week.
Oh yeah, don't forget. Tegan's birthday is next week. I gotta. Any bribes you want to give me? Oh man. All right, guys. Thanks for letting me talk at you for all this time. I hope that you learned something new today. I hope that you find someone good who you can teach this to, and so at Jeremy and Seth, you guys could do it together. Like if you're going to share it with your mom, you can teach it together. Alex and Tegan, you can, or if you want to do separately, you can as well. Okay? But I'm excited. I'm looking forward to what we're going to do together. Any questions? Oh, I already asked you all the questions you could ask me. All right, guys, have a good week, and I will see you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hasta la vista.
Baby.
Adios.
Senor.
See you later, Darth Vader.
Peace. Peace out. All right. So, James, I did get your papers, so I'll get that back to you, okay?
That's good. Thank you for teaching.
You're welcome. Nice to meet you.
Okay. See you next week. Goodbye.
Okay, bye-bye.